Welcome everybody to another episode of For Couples Only. We're pleased to have with us again Dr. Nabil Be'i, who has dedicated his life to the counseling of many people in the Coptic Orthodox Church. This topic today is about submission. Specifically, St. Paul says, "Wives, submit to your husbands in the Lord." Many husbands use this verse to suppress fights and win battles. So what is the true meaning of submission that St. Paul is referring to? And when does a wife have the right to consider that enough is enough? He's abusing the submission. How can a wife still feel loved while she continues to submit? And the last question that came in about this is, when is submission not a virtue?
Okay. Usually in the church, in the ceremony of crowning the wedding, we read from Ephesians 5, starting verse 22. Wives, submit to your husband as to the Lord, or inclusion in the Lord. And as the church submit to Christ, so wives have submit to their husband in everything. And of course, I can't take only that, because so many American Coptic Orthodox were raised here. For them, St. Paul is against women. He's an enemy for women. And the word submit became the S word, as if you are cursing by saying submit. Verse 21 in Ephesians 5 is submit one to another in the fear of God. So this is the beginning, and so many other Orthodox churches, they start their reading in the crowning ceremony by that verse. Submit one to another in something mutual. Submission is respect, and I have to respect my husband and my wife both in the fear of God. The fear of God is in us, will let me respect my wife. It's not slavery. Submission is not slavery. It is just respect. You have to honor and respect one another. So why God insists that the woman has to honor and respect her husband? Because God knows if the man is not respected and honored in the relationship, he could crack so easily. And someone who's very mean wife, could really destroy her husband by doing that. So God is protecting the man, and God is protecting the woman, because only 3 or 4 verses for the woman in that chapter, the rest, all of them for man. Husband, love your wife as Christ loved the church, and he gave himself for her. And those 2 parts complement one another, while we focus only on submission. And submission is respect, and it's mutual. And love also is mutual. Why God said to the man, you have to love as I have loved the church and give myself. Love your wife as yourself. Because he knows any woman could break down if she feels that she's not loved. So God knows the in and out of us. He's the one who wired us. He knows that if any wife feels that she's rejected, not loved, she can't function. And if a man does not feel that he's respected and honored, he cannot function as the leader of the family and as a husband.
Can a wife respect an unloving husband?
I will tell you. Yes, of course she can. Because why God did not say, this is mutual for both of you? It's a commandment, and St. John Chrysostom mentioned that, and so many other saints, fathers. He said that it's a commandment for you as a wife, a commandment for you as a man. If you want to go the extra mile, obey the commandments, not looking for the love of your earthly bridegroom, because you have another heavenly bridegroom. He's pouring his love on you. And because of his love, the heavenly groom, I will respect my husband. And the same for the man. He feels disrespected. And he knows that God is respecting him so much because he is the image and his own glory in the family, the man. So because of respect of God, he has to continue loving his wife, irrespective whether she respects or not him. So God will one day will ask me, I gave you a commandment. I didn't say this commandment is conditioned by the love of your husband or by the respect of your wife. And if I want to obey God really and go the extra mile, I will continue obeying my commandment. And God, and I know so many stories, God gave from his own Holy Spirit to the wife and to the man to continue obeying the commandment, irrespective of the behavior of the other partner. So St. Paul now is not an enemy for women.
No, it doesn't seem that way.
Because so many regard him like that.
How can you submit to a dominant husband?
Actually, God is advising me to submit, especially to dominant, because if I don't, he will turn aggressive. I will get hurt. Maybe it is much harder to say to unloving husband, but dominant for her security. Please, wives, respect and honor your dominant because they are dangerous. And pray that God will chase them. Only the hand of God could work on those people, the dominant. But any personality, if he doesn't love or express love because of the culture, because he was raised, I have to excuse everybody, because he was raised in a family, they don't express feeling or affection. He could be trained. The wife is the best one to train her husband for affection, and the man could explain to his wife what does it mean for him to be respected. And in love, she will know how to respect her husband according to what he wants.
Another question that came from the audience is, one of the wives apparently is saying, you know, she can't keep submitting to her husband. What advice do you have for her? Apparently she's at the end of her rope.
I advise that lady to open up to God. She is trying by her own skills, but if she is really connected to the source of love and respect, God will pour into her from his spirit so much that she will continue the third extra, not only the second mile, a third or fourth mile. Because God could give us. And we could remember, you know, the story of al-Ghalaba?
Tell us.
No, it's a long story. It will take so much time, more than the time allowed. But I mean, she was really abused. And I don't like physical abuse. I don't allow that. But she continued to respect her husband. And she left the family. She continued to pray for him. And that lady, who departed 1996, she was illiterate. God gave her the talent, the gifts, to raise up dead, to stop rain. And she's illiterate. And she prayed for her husband, who left, he returned back. And he became a good one. Santa Monica. You know Santa Monica? Yes. I mean, she prayed and prayed and prayed for her husband, her children, and her mother-in-law. All of them, they became Christian through prayers. And she was respectful for all of them.
So what does it mean to submit to the Lord?
As to the Lord. As to the Lord. Or in the Lord. In the Lord, she means not contradicting with the commands of the Lord. If a man would ask his wife to go and sell her body, she would say no. This is not in the Lord or as to the Lord. I mean, as I'm submitting, respecting the Lord, His commandments, if you tell me something against the will and the plan of the Lord, I have to say no.
Have you seen in your time of counseling that men who have been difficult to deal with have come around by the godly love and submission of an honorable woman, or is this a lifelong burden that she needs to bear?
No, so many. God could change anybody, either through prayers, or if He will ask or she will ask, I need to change. God really changed personalities and changed people. Why? Because what is the goal of our life here? Life of salvation. To finish our life of salvation and reach eternity. And God is so loving. He wants everybody to be saved and reach the place which was reserved for Him. Not secure, reserved for Him. And or her. So, through the prayer of the wife, so many infidel husbands returned. We're going to infidelity. And the same for the wife, through the prayer of men and through counseling. Christian counseling could really help couples to reach their destiny, which means enjoying God in their marriage and reaching eternity.
Does submission mean respect?
Yes. Submissions mean respect, and it doesn't mean slavery. It means obedience, but not the obedience of a slave. As to the Lord is not dealing with me as a slave. His own son. The love, and I'm the love of the Lord. He loves me so much. And as to the Lord, explains that it's not a slavery kind of submission.
Okay. Thank you very much, Doctor.
Well, welcome.